Chicago mayors. Chicago mayors. Well, why am I saying mayors with an S? Because we just have a more articulate version of Lori Lightfoot and the new Chicago mayor. The Chicago mayor recently brought himself to the front of the congregation to have a conversation with reporters on Media Day. And he gave some thoughts. Now, we're all familiar with all of the riots and flash mobs and kids, young people, the violence that's going on in Chicago, which is just a reflection of what's going on in our communities across the nation, right? We familiar with how it is that they killing each other. They got whole blocks called O Block and all of this stuff, right? And we also get some of the greatest horrible music out of them. No, not Kanye West, but you know, the King Bonds and all of those type of guys, right? Chief Keefs. That's that shit I don't like. Right? We've seen it. We've seen it across the board. And more importantly, they bringing themselves and they putting themselves on display regularly, and they're going in, they're stomping on cars, they're tearing up the streets, they're running into the suburbs, they running into the city, they messing up the Miracle Mile, they downtown, they doing it and nobody can get a grip on it. Nobody can get a grip on it. Okay, well, on Media Day, thank God for the media, they decided that they wanted to ask the Chicago mayor some questions. Brandon Johnson is his name. Let's get into it. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. I will be reading super chats throughout the show. Thank you, guys.
There's history in this city. I mean, to refer to children as like baby Al Capones is not appropriate. I'm fully aware of what I inherited. You know, the 90s were especially tough. I remember that. I was in high school. We had almost 1,000 people being murdered every single year. You know, what we know, particularly in this moment, my administration, that constitutional policing is critical. And so I really appreciate, very much so, how many of our law enforcement rank and file members have really stepped up.
I know a couple of Chicago police officers. I've talked to them specifically. And so just because you're using big words and you don't think that we can understand what you're saying, constitutional policing. That means that the criminals don't have to play by the rules, but we not going to be Batman in this bitch. That's basically what he's saying. And 1,000 people getting eliminated in the early 90s in Chicago when black people was doing what black people do is no different than what is happening today in Chicago. And so we're still calling for constitutional policing when I've talked to a couple different police officers that is a part of the Chicago Police Department that joined the police department because they wanted to help and save their communities, but is even turned on against them, the very people in their communities that knew why they went into it in the first place, and they start calling him the op. One of them had to quit. He said, listen, I didn't sign up for this. I signed up to do some community policing. And so now he's talking about constitutional policing, meaning that it's important for them to react, not necessarily for them to be proactive in what's going on in our communities. Here's the key, though. From what I've heard, most of the police officers in Chicago ain't really fucking with the mayor in the first place. They not really fucking with what it is that they got going on. They never fucked with Lightfoot. They didn't mess with They not messing with Brandon Johnson, and they feel like they're behind the 8 ball. They don't have any true people that is backing them in order to solve the problem in the first place. The best way to solve the problem is for the people to really participate anyway, but they don't want that. You keep voting to have these people pitch this. He got his mohawk on. He looking like this up there. He got his mohawk up. Modern man. He got preacher vibes. Okay, well, let's see what it is that he's got to say.
To be more of a system of care and calm versus a system that has unfortunately been deemed to be far more harsh and severe.
A system that is emphasizing care and calm for the ops that got switches on their guns. I'm going to be reading those super chats shortly. Thank you, guys. A system that calls for care and calm and they got switches on their guns. Do y'all know that what doesn't get reported in the community in a lot of instances, unless it's some kind of pretty black woman that gets executed, is that there's more police officers that get hit up by these monsters every single day, and they're calling for us to have care and calm when they're up here terrorizing, ruining our communities, burning down our buildings, and feeding crack into our babies. Care and calm. Care and calm. Okay.
Here. And those levels of sensitivity as we bring calm and structure to the city, that's a unique approach. You know, many people expect, us to treat people undignified.
Undignified.
My administration is different. And as far as its effectiveness, I would just say it like this, that some of the trends that we are witnessing, the number of trends that we have intercepted over the course of these first, how long has it been now, y'all? 12 weeks? It's been tremendous. And so that's because there's been a real strategic effort on the part of my administration to coordinate with civic leaders, with community-based organizations, again, with city departments. And so we're seeing some of the fruit of that labor, and I'm grateful again that the men and women who serve this city on the front line are providing the type of system of care that's going to be necessary in order to bring structure and calm in the city.
Quick follow-up, when you say trends, what do you mean? Can you give us an example of a couple of the trends you're seeing?
Oh, you're not aware of some of these large gatherings?
You're talking about the mob actions?
Well, no, that's not appropriate. We're not.
He's taking offense that the reporters are saying that these are flash mobs and mob situations. And it is a flash mob. That's exactly what it is. But he preferred to call it a large gathering. I've been to large gatherings. I have. My Patreon meetup is a large gathering. You know why? Because we pay for our food, we tip good, we have a great time. Everybody comes out with great energy and they feel good about it. We have phenomenal discussions. I give a speech, I stand on the counter or on the bar, and everybody loves it, and we go, we having a good time. And then we clean up after ourselves, and we leave money in the city, and we put money in the hands of the bartenders and the servers. And then I hopefully add value into the people's lives, and we connect and we exchange information and we network effectively, and we don't leave a trail of destruction in our wake. I've seen large gatherings where people come together in order to protest, right? They protest peacefully, but then there's mobs that then go in and they destroy each and everything that they touch. They destroy everything. They stand on cars. They destroy other people's property. They twerk. They throw loud music on. They lower the property value. They assault police officers. They're unruly. They don't follow rules. Their parents are nowhere to be found. And then a lot of them wind up shooting at police officers, or they shoot. It's usually a body somewhere. It's always a body somewhere that gets left. And they take up our resources from our officers that should be out here hunting down criminals, but now we got to police and try to prevent destruction and loss of life from people hurting themselves. That is called a flash mob. It's called a mob. It's not a large gathering. Call it what it is. Call it exactly what it is.
I'm talking about mob actions. I didn't say that.
What happened Sunday?
Hold on a second, okay? Respectfully. These large gatherings, just hold on a second, y'all. I promise you, we have time to talk. It's important that we speak of these dynamics in an appropriate way. This is not to obfuscate what is actually taking place.
I don't believe in word salad. I don't even know what obfuscate means. I am a C student. I have no clue what obfuscate means. Now, I can use my context clues from the words that he used before it and after it in the context of the sentence. I can use my context clues. I can use Google. I can use ChatGPT, but you're not going to use word salad in order to try to defer what it is that we're talking about into being something that is not. We're not going to change it into meaning something that is not. I don't even know what obfuscate means. I know what confiscate means, but I don't even know what obfuscate means. You're not going to try to finesse me out of my bag, big dog. I know what these politicians do in order to continue to confuse you and get you to vote for them, even though they don't have your best interest at heart.
But we have to be very careful when we use language to describe certain behavior. There's history in this city. I mean, to refer to children as like baby Al Capones is not appropriate.
Yes, it is. Monsters.
So let me finish, please, okay? What I'm saying is is that when you ask for very specific examples, there have been other attempts to have large gatherings, and we've intercepted those
Large
attempts.
gatherings.
Mary Ann, do you have a question?
I just need to follow up, were those children sitting there?
I don't know how old all these individuals were. I don't. I do know that the system of care that we are building to bring structure and calm to the city of Chicago, to make sure that no harm comes to any resident of this city, that we're very much committed to building that better, stronger, safer city.
I wonder how the neighbors feel about this. Hey, I know that there was some people that said that they was from Chicago. What do y'all think about this? What do you think about your city? Do you think that there's a lot of obfuscation that's happening in your city? I don't know what it means. I'm just going to use it however it is that I see fit. Do you think that there's a lot of obfuscation that's happening in the city that is justified to actually label this as a large gathering instead of what it really is? What do y'all think about the obfuscation that's happening in y'all city? Do you want to obfuscate to a completely different part of the nation right now, but you can't because your job is keeping you there? Are y'all looking to obfuscate y'all children over into a completely different school system because school of choice, because you don't want your people out here struggling because Lil Al Capone out there is doing a rap video and they got switches on their guns? Did y'all obfuscate when the last weekend had 3-4 killings as a result of it? I wonder what the people feel like from an obfuscation perspective. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that the mayor needs to obfuscate and make sure that he obfuscate the officers that are not policing this with care? What do y'all think about this? I'm so tired of people using big words that I don't understand, trying to fool me into thinking something that I'm not. I know what the fuck is going on. You can't obfuscate me. You're not going to obfuscate me. Meanwhile, while he was giving his speech.
Right now at 10, Chicago mail carriers call for better security after a rash of armed robberies, including one last week that ended with a mail carrier shot in the leg. CBS 2's Sarah Maki has been hearing their concerns tonight from the letter carriers union hall and joins us now live with their demand.
Meanwhile, while he was giving his speech, on the other end of the city, the mail carrier said, listen, we got bulletproof vests on and we can't even deliver the mail because it's so bad out here. These same little people who you don't want to call little Al Capone and that they're just having large gatherings, we got to wear bulletproof vests just to walk down the street and deliver the mail.
And Sarah?
Yeah, Joe, to put it pretty simply, they say that they want protection for their co-workers. They want apprehension and stronger prosecution for those who target them. And it seems today that
No. We don't want to prosecute them. We want to govern them with care. We want to police them with care. We do not want to prosecute them.
Getting support from at least one member in Congress.
Enough is enough! Enough is enough! Enough is enough! Enough is enough!
Chicago letter carriers come together, dozens joining with a single message.
What do we want? Action! When do we want it? Now!
They're not even asking for more money. The mail carriers are advocating for protection. Listen, I'm not a fan of protesting. I'm not a fan of advocating and requiring for your employer to do anything more than what it is that you signed up for your job. But at the very least, you should be able to go and deliver some mail without having to wear a bulletproof vest. Is that not reasonable? They didn't ask for no more money. They didn't ask for higher pensions. They didn't ask for more benefits. They just said, listen, prosecute the people that's out here fucking up what it is that we got going on here.
After scores of their coworkers have been targeted by thieves. This letter carrier wearing a $700 bulletproof vest he purchased on his own for his route.
That letter carrier has to wear a $700 bulletproof vest that he purchased out of his own money. That man had on black socks, looked like Asics, because you know how y'all, listen, older people are arches. They fail as they get older. Knees ain't the same as they have to be. See, y'all keep saying, what are those? Listen, We don't give a fuck about what you think. This is good for my arches. I was taking Rita out to the mall the other day. I said, you want to stop by Skechers? You want to stop by Skechers? I heard they got good support. I heard these Skechers got good support. Listen, we don't give a fuck about that. Knees be back hurting, knees buckling a little bit more, flat-footed. You know how the fuck it is. This man got on. Listen, of all the things that he got on, let's go through his outfit real quick.
This letter carrier wearing a 700.
Look at that. Hold on. Jordan socks. What are those? What are those? Those are Asics. Asics. This is a gentleman that is taking care of his family. No. Let's go through what our letter carriers are really going through. This man has on Asics, tied up, not tucked in, tied up.
Wearing a
Jordan socks pulled up to the calves. Jordan socks pulled up to the calves. His shorts are ironed, meaning that he has somebody that cares for him at home.
$700.
Look at that crease. You see that crease? That means there's somebody that cares for him at home. He has people that are depending on him. All right?
Bulletproof vest he purchased on his
Bulletproof
own.
vest. Blue blockers. And he wearing a hat. This is a good man. This is a good man that goes to work every day, that pays his taxes, is not cheating on his wife, has children that depend on him, and he got to wear a $700 vest that he purchased for himself out of his own money in order to go and deliver the mail. And you trying to tell me that these are just large gatherings? I'm not going for it, family.
In Humboldt Park after thieves started targeting his coworkers for their so-called arrow keys, a master key to unlock shared mailboxes.
We have over 90 reported incidents where letter carriers have been robbed and or assaulted. This is too many.
Last week alone, mail carriers experienced an armed robbery turned shooting in Kilbourne Park.
Armed robbery turned shooting. Listen, if we can't even protect the people that deliver your checks to you, that deliver your EBT card to you, that is giving you the things that you need in order to feed yourself, if you got to go to the, y'all remember that scene in Goodfellas where they had to, the people then had to go down to the, okay, I'll tell you what. I got the solution. Somebody in the chat said, what's the solution? I got it. You make things so uncomfortable for people until they start to do the thing that's in their own best interest. You make things so uncomfortable for people until they do the thing that is in their own best interest. If you require for people, you remove all of the mailboxes and you say, all right, everybody got to come to the mail carrier station in order to get their mail every single day. I bet you start making some people uncomfortable to the point to where they start wanting some action. You make them go down to that station every single day in order to get their mail, they check, it's going to be over. Amazon packages, UPS, FedEx, regular mail, USPS mail, you got to come down to the station. We're eliminating mail carriers in your hood because you know who the drug dealers are and you're not trying to do the thing that's in your own best interest. Yeah. Make it difficult. You make it so hard that people cannot wait to see change. And then we go in and we gentrify it. You got to make things so uncomfortable for people, right? So uncomfortable to where they can't stand and they can't handle. Let me tell you where I learned this tactic from. During the pandemic, when people had to sit with their own kids, it was hell for these people. Man, I was on Clubhouse because it was the newest, hottest app at that particular time, and I would hear these people complaining about the fact that they had to sit home with their own kids. They didn't even want to be around their own kids. They couldn't wait to pass their kids back over into them overglorified babysitters so that they can then, it be somebody else's problem. You don't even want to sit with your own monsters. You don't want to even sit with the person that you raised. When people had to sit with the person that they lived with, oh my God. That woman been out here terrorizing people for her entire life. And now you got to sit there because you can't go outside? Oh shit. Oh my God. It was over. Y'all didn't know math. You realize how little math you knew. You didn't know second grade math. You couldn't read past a second grade second grade reading level. Y'all keep talking about LeBron's kids over at the I Promise school can't pass a basic math test. I guarantee you that their parents can't pass it either. The very ones that's having children, their parents can't pass the math test either. Basic math, what's y equals mx plus b? What's rise over run? What's the slope of that equation? No, I'm curious. What is y equal mx plus b? Don't Google it. I don't want to hear it. What is y equals mx plus b? What's rise over run and what's the y-intercept? I'm curious. All of these motherfuckers that's having kids is trying to hold the people accountable that's putting money in your community, and you can't pass the test either. I seen you niggas trying to read super chats when I was on that other show. We was gonna be there all fucking night trying to read super chats. Cause you niggas don't even know how to place a comma when you talking. You don't know how to read, pause. Y'all don't know y'all where the period, the exclamation point, you don't know where to put. I seen you niggas. When I was in the plant, we had to take the test. In order to get over in the skilled trades, I passed that bitch. Top of my class. All you other motherfuckers failed. That shit was so simple. In order to be able to have kids, you should have to pass certain tests in order for you to be able to have kids in the United States of America. Oh, I told you it was going to be that type of show today. We got all the smoke today.
Armed robbery in Wicker Park and armed robbery in Berwyn. Senator Dick Durbin saying, as he sent a letter to the Department of Justice and Postmaster General Louis DeJoy, demanding answers, that those incidents cause direct trauma to letter carriers, adding downstream effects exacerbate staffing shortages, leaving delivery deserts, and causing dangerous delays in medication and other critical delays.
Facts. Shout out to the U.S. Senator Dick Durbin. I ain't talking about the super chats that was on the last show that we got on Monday. I'm talking about when we used to be on Thursday. Them super chats used to be. I had to take over. I don't know if y'all remember. I said, don't worry about it, y'all. I'm going to read super chats. Don't worry about it, y'all. I'm going to read super chats. Reading is fundamental. When the last book that you read? The Cat in the Hat. Where's Waldo? If I looked up the last book that you read, I bet you it's a picture book. You niggas still trying to read the picture Bible. I'ma just watch the movie. That's why y'all don't want to go back to school. That's why y'all keep trying to take shortcuts. Anton, can I just go to a class that give me an accelerated, they just give me the answers? They got that new math. No, nigga, it's the same math. It's a different way in order for you to be able to reach the final solution, but you still need to understand the fundamental. It's not new math, my nigga. It's the same math. You're not going to sit here and tell me that we got new math, my nigga. The math is the math. They got that new math, Anton. Hey, did you read your Bible yesterday? It looks like Moses took his kid up to the altar. My nigga, that ain't Moses, that's Aaron. That wasn't Moses. And you confusing Moses with Abraham. Aaron, dog. Yo, I read the Bible the other day. The picture looked like he was walking up the mountain, and then he actually had 3 tablets. Y'all niggas keep trying to debate me over the Bible, and you going off of the Prince of Egypt and the picture Bible. Niggas, stop reading the picture Bible and keep trying to debate with me. I don't want to hear no nigga that looked at the last time that he read the word of God, it was the picture Bible, and then you niggas keep talking about, man, it was really 15 and he got mad and he threw the tablet down and so he only had 10. My nigga, you don't even know who was the illustrator of that. That's what they're going to be doing at Umar Johnson School. Turn to page 7, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism. We're going to teach these kids with love. Well, what is the love, Dr. Umar Johnson? We're going to use picture Bibles we're going to use picture books because these kids, they need to be governed with love. And it's the men's fault that we have to use these picture books in order to illustrate what's going on over here. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism. That's where Boyce Watkins get his stock tips from. Picture books. These niggas don't know shit.